Wow, PSA has acquired SGC according to Darren Ravel. Was this proactive or was it reactive? We are going to talk through this. Guys, I did not see this one coming, but I have a feeling that there's going to be more details that come out today, tomorrow, over the weekend that provide more guidance. I have reached out to SGC for comment, and of course, we'll let you know if I hear anything. Before I do get started, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, My Card Post. I've completed my first trade on the My Card Post website. It is a subscription service, a subscription model service. It's free to buy, but to sell, a low monthly fee. So definitely check out My Card Post. They're up to 6,100 members. They were at 5,100 just like a few weeks ago. They've been going absolutely bonkers. They just announced a partnership with Burbank Cards, so you can imagine what that's going to do for the site. And I've completed my first trade. Two of my Stranger Things cards in SGC 10s, both will buyers. One of them a 1985 online exclusives limited. It was online only, and an SGC 10. And then I've got the green metal that went over in an SGC 10. And in return, I got a Brett Favre Rookie Force, just a cool nostalgia card for me in a 10. And then I also got kind of a unique card that I had not really paid much attention to until I saw it, was a Steve Young VIP Gold in a 10, just a cool overall card. Happy to get that first deal done there on My Card Post. Definitely check out my link in the video description as well as in the pinned comments to take you there. All right, questions abound, of course, with PSA acquiring SGC. These are the two rivals. These are the two companies, really, that are battling it out for sports card grading. And I know what you might say is, yeah, but when I see the gem rate report, I see PSA's got 1 million plus cards, and I see SGC's got 150,000, let's just say. Yeah, but if you break it down a little bit further, what you have to understand is that just about half of PSA's business is TCG, mostly Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all of that stuff, Lorcana. That's almost half of PSA's business. So if you break down the numbers, PSA is grading about 500, 550, maybe 600,000 cards in a month. And SGC is sitting there right at about 125, maybe 150 a month. So it's quite a bit closer. It's not 9x. It's more like 4x, and nobody else is close to them. No one else is close to PSA as far as how many cards are being graded on the sports card side. SGC, a longtime company, along with PSA, they have always had a great respect among vintage card collectors. A lot of vintage card collectors prefer SGC to a PSA, and there's a lot of vintage card collectors that really enjoy the PSA registry and just the long time, brand name of PSA. And so it's kind of to each their own, obviously. SGC has made massive inroads on the modern to ultra modern card side here over the last couple of years, especially when PSA had to shut down for a period of time when Nat Turner was taking over the company. They were out for 10, 11, maybe 12 months. PSA was closed down, taking very limited orders. SGC took advantage of that, and they've really made a name for themselves with fast service, consistent grading. There's not a lot of extras. You get a lot for your money at SGC, and so they've become a very popular brand. So it's no shock that folks are looking to acquire. I think what I'm shocked about is that it's collectors. And I know it's not PSA, it's actually collectors. It's a larger umbrella that bought them. And again, when I say proactive versus reactive, there's been a lot of speculation that Fanatics wants to buy a grading company. I've always thought I know that they want to, but can they? SGC has been always the most obvious target for a company trying to buy a grading company because BGS has kind of a weird setup as far as ownership goes, and it's not an easy company to acquire. And then CGC already is owned by BlackRock. They're already owned by big money. So SGC just kind of sitting out there, and of course, built a great brand. They're doing a bunch of amazing things. It's no secret at all that they would be an acquisition target. And when I say reactive by a collector's universe, obviously they want that brand. But was Fanatics also in the game? And that's the part that I think we'll find out here shortly. Were there other suitors? Because we go back in time a little bit. Fanatics bought PWCC. And guess what we found out after the fact? Collectors was in second place. And I remember thinking man, why would collectors be looking to buy PWCC when they already have Golden? And then I guess you could make the case, well, hey, the more the merrier. And this looks to me, it's just a land grab. It's a battle. It's now become a battle between two massive companies. It's Collectors Universe and it's Fanatics. These are two companies that are vying for assets in this space. If a small business presents itself and there's value and they see the value in it, these two companies will be looking to acquire. That's the way that I'm viewing the current landscape between Fanatics and Collectors Universe. Why would SGC do this? There's a few different reasons I can think of. One being that PSA has been reinvesting in their infrastructure. This is something where if we go back to the shutdown where PSA could not handle the amount of orders, kind of going back to the pandemic, they have done a lot of work opening up capacity. There's a New Jersey office that's now doing grading. They also have a Japan office, I believe. So they have got multiple sites now to where they are set up for capacity. There might be a concern, speculating here, can PSA keep up these numbers? PSA's never been more popular. People have never been grading as many cards as they have now. But we're in weird economic times. There are no guarantees in life, as we know, and there are no guarantees that we will continue to see the sorts of submissions that we have seen over the last, especially 12 months in the grading space. If you're SGC and they've been doing a great job of kind of just ramping up as they can, as they get the business, then they ramp up, increase the capacity, hire on more people. Well, this opens doors for them to where, hey, you know what? We don't have to necessarily have a separate site for grading. They can maybe lean on the New Jersey office that's PSA's. The one thing I did see here, and again, it's got to all be flushed out, is they're going to operate as separate brands, but how much are they going to be connected operationally? That's the part that I guess we just don't really know. Is it just going to be SGC's doing their thing and PSA bought in and they're going to get their piece of the pie? Or is it going to be that SGC is really leaning in on some of the infrastructure, some of the things that PSA already has in place? And I looked at this too. This is being reported as an acquisition. This is different than when we look at eBay and ComC. When that was reported, it was more of like eBay and ComC already have a partnership. eBay has invested into ComC. That's the way that this was reported. That was not a full-blown acquisition to where eBay bought ComC and now it's, eBay ComC. They're changing the name, like Twitter's moving to X or whatever. ComC is still doing their thing. They just have an increased partnership and eBay has put money into ComC, and the assumption there is that they've got some equity in ComC, whatever that is. But they don't own 51% of ComC. At least that's not the way that I understand it. In other words, it was not reported that eBay has acquired ComC. This is being reported as PSA is acquiring SGC. So PSA owns 51%, presumably, of SGC. It grinds the sports card grading war to a halt. Alliances have been set up, and now it's really PSA SGC, and then you've got CGC, and then you've got Beckett. I'm not going to sit here and rail on about Beckett. They've been struggling along. There's no arguing it really. They're grading about 50 to 60, maybe 70,000 cards a month. It's half and half, TCG and sports cards. About 30,000 cards a month. If I look at what CGC has done as well, they're not grading a lot of sports cards. They're grading a lot of TCG cards. There's been a lot of opportunity there, and they've done a great job on the TCG side. So with these companies coming together, there is one large company that is handling all of the sports card grading. A lot of collectors are going to be upset about it. Some collectors, I think, will be optimistic and say, hey, look, best of both worlds. SGC brings a lot of good things to the table, so does PSA, and now they're coming together, and that's going to mean one large company that's offering a really great service for everyone. We'll have to see how the partnership is really set up and how in-depth it is. Will there be additional collaborations? I now have, just knowing some of the other background information that I have, it makes me question a lot of different things. And again, I'm reacting to this. I'm just trying to get kind of the initial reaction out. Sorry guys, this will probably be a 3 or 4 part series because it's a big deal. I mean, this is a really huge deal. The grading space is one of those kind of those intimate things in the hobby. Man, people get fired up. SGC is a channel partner, and there's a lot of hardcore SGC fans. There's a lot of hardcore PSA fans. I'm of the belief that we've got 4 very good grading companies in the space, which makes it good. It makes it good times for people that want to grade cards because you've got a lot of options depending on what the card is, depending on what you're trying to do. You've got a variety of good options. You've got 4 companies really that are strong in grading and been doing it a while and have a good background. So this is going to be interesting to watch. We will see how it unfolds here. There might be another video later today. We'll see how it goes. But stay locked in. We will be back. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.